Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're diving deep into some really fascinating source material, so motivational speech, that, well, it unpacks a core truth.
Hmm.
It suggests the real difference between people who seem to navigate life with purpose and those who feel, constantly adrift.
Mm.
It isn't luck
Right.
or talent or even loads of opportunities.
Hmm.
Our sources point to something simpler but really powerful: control.
It's true. And the message, really, across these sources is that the power to, fundamentally change your experience, it isn't out there somewhere.
It's inside.
Exactly. It's already within you. The core idea is basically this. If you don't actively take charge in certain key areas of your life, they don't just drift. They will start to control you. They'll influence your decisions,
Yeah.
shape your relationships, and ultimately they decide which opportunities you grab, or, more often the ones you miss. Letting them run wild, well, it can take you places you never planned on going.
Which is why our mission today is really to pull these ideas apart. We want to arm you with insights that can give you, hopefully, a new sense of focus and direct responsibility over your own life.
Mm-hmm.
We're exploring four main pillars where taking this kind of intentional control can really change things: your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money. Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
Let's start with the mouth. Now, when we talk about controlling your mouth, it's way more than just, holding your tongue when you're angry, though that's important too, obviously.
Sure, yeah.
But the real eye-opener in our sources is understanding the huge, almost creative power that's in every single word you say.
Precisely. Think of your words not just as sounds that disappear, but more like architects. They build your reality.
Architects, interesting.
Yeah. Once they're out there, they resonate. They build things up or they tear things down. And the sources point out how often people just talk without really thinking about the energy behind negativity or criticism or, gossip. But the thing is, the words coming out of your mouth don't just describe your life. They they construct it.
That's a huge distinction.
Yeah.
So if you're always talking about how hard life is, how unfair things are, or how impossible your dreams feel,
Yeah.
you're not just venting.
No, not
You're
it.
actually broadcasting that energy. You're creating an environment that mirrors those exact words.
Mhm.
You're basically creating the atmosphere you then have to live in.
And the flip side is true too, right? If you choose to speak with conviction, talk about possibilities, lift others up, you're actively cultivating an environment where good things, where positivity can actually take root and grow.
Yeah.
Think about the people who really inspire you. Do they mostly talk about limits and defeat?
Not usually, no.
Or do they use their words to empower, to encourage things moving forward? They open doors for themselves and others just by how they speak. That's the kind of power your words have.
So it's like a double-edged sword then.
Yeah.
You speak life into a situation, bring hope, potential. But it can also do real damage if you're reckless. Our sources really push for being deliberate. Like, before you speak, maybe pause and ask, is this actually going to help or make it worse?
Is this based on truth or just, raw emotion?
Yeah, that emotional frustration part.
So many regrets come from words spoken in the heat of the moment, right? An apology is good, but it often doesn't undo the actual impact,
Doesn't erase it, no.
which just highlights how essential it is to be intentional with our communication.
And this isn't just about talking to other people. It's maybe even more about your internal dialogue, your self-talk,
Oh, absolutely crucial.
the way you speak to yourself,
Mhm.
those words you use when you're
Yeah.
thinking about your own abilities, your worth, your future. That's constantly shaping how you see yourself.
Mhm.
If you keep telling yourself, I can't do this or I'm not good enough, you start to believe it. You build these limitations that are just reflections of that inner negativity.
So the key is actively shifting that narrative, right? The source really emphasizes this by consistently speaking positive, affirming words to yourself. Things like, I am resilient, I can handle this, or I am capable of reaching my goals. You literally start to reprogram your mindset.
Reprogram, like coding yourself for confidence.
In a way, yeah. You basically speak yourself into feeling more confident, more courageous. And what's amazing is those words often become the spark for the actions and habits that actually shape your future.
Okay, so boiling it down, controlling your mouth isn't about silence. It's about being incredibly intentional with every word.
Exactly. Each thing you say either moves you forward or, well, holds you back. Your words have a huge impact on relationships, opportunities, even your core sense of self-worth.
It changes how people see you too, doesn't it?
Definitely. When you cultivate this awareness, you find you have this powerful tool for navigating challenges with with purpose. You start attracting wisdom, positivity, truth. People notice. They respect that deliberation. They might even seek you out because they see your words build things, not just tear them down.
The source used a really delicate analogy, words as seeds.
Ah, yes, that's a good one.
If you keep planting doubt, fear, negativity, that's the garden you're going to get. That's what you harvest. But if you plant faith, determination, optimism, that's what will grow. And the warning was, you're going to have to live in the garden you create.
It's so true. And it's amazing how many people complain about their circumstances but don't connect it back to the power they have in their own words.
Right.
Think about it. The difference between someone always complaining versus someone who speaks with hope, always looking for solutions. You can feel the energy difference. And you often see different outcomes in their lives, too.
So that's the challenge then for your mouth. Get your words in check. Stop speaking defeat over your life.
Yeah.
Replace I can't with how can I or I will. Shift from complaining about what's wrong to talk about what's possible, not just for you, but for the people around you too.
Because you can't control everything out there, other people, unexpected events.
No way.
But you absolutely can control your mouth. Your words are this profound tool. Use them wisely. They build a life reflecting your potential. Use them carelessly. They can wreck opportunities before they even start.
Okay, powerful stuff. Now let's shift focus to the mind. This, the source argues, is arguably the most powerful tool you have.
Definitely.
It's where everything starts, right? Every action, decision, habit. The mind is like the battlefield where life's wins and losses are often decided way before anything actually happens out there.
And if your mind isn't controlled, if it's just running wild, it quickly becomes the master, not the servant you want it to be.
So you end up reactive.
Exactly. You live a reactive life, constantly pushed around by fears and doubts instead of acting from, conscious purpose. That old saying, as a man thinketh, so is he, it's profoundly true.
Yeah.
Your life mirrors the thoughts you allow to dominate. Whatever you consistently focus on, that's what expands. If your mental space is full of negativity or self-doubt, well, that's the direction your life is going to go.
And the sources really paint a picture of how many people let their minds just run wild. They let fear and doubt become the default setting,
Yeah.
spiraling into what ifs,
Yeah.
worrying about what others think, getting stuck in self-criticism. One negative thought just links to the next, and suddenly you're in this anxiety vortex that feels paralyzing.
Right.
But the empowering part, the real insight, is that you don't have to live like that.
No, you don't. And controlling your mind isn't about pretending fear doesn't exist or ignoring problems. Fear, doubt, they're real human experiences.
Okay.
The key is how you engage with them. It's about rising above them, managing their influence, pushing through, and that takes discipline. It's like an athlete training their body.
Yeah.
It needs intentional effort, consistent practice.
So guarding your mind, like it's your most precious asset.
Yeah.
Because, well, it is.
Yeah.
You have to be super selective about what you let in. If something doesn't nourish you or align with where you want to go or feel right, the sources basically say, filter it out.
Stop consuming mental junk food.
Like constant negative news or toxic social media stuff.
Exactly. Instead, intentionally feed your mind things that actually challenge you, inspire growth, push you to aim higher.
Okay, so like good books, maybe podcasts like this one.
Hopefully. Or listening to people who uplift and motivate. And critically, surrounding yourself with people who have positive, constructive energy.
Your environment matters.
Hugely. The company you keep really impacts your mental state. Positive energy is, well, it's contagious. It rubs off on you.
So practically speaking, when that negative thought pops up, because it will,
It always does.
what do? The sources suggest a kind of three-step process. Catch it, challenge it, replace it.
That's the core technique. Don't let it just sit there and fester. The second you catch yourself thinking, I can't do this, stop. Ask yourself, is that really true? Like, factually true? What evidence do I actually have for that belief?
And usually,
You find it's just fear talking, not objective reality. Then you replace it with something more constructive, more truthful.
okay, catch, challenge, replace. Got it.
And another really potent technique is visualization.
Picturing success.
Yes. When you vividly imagine achieving your goals, seeing your dreams happen, feeling yourself succeed, you're essentially training your mind to focus on what you want.
And that makes it feel more possible.
Exactly. When you can see it clearly in your mind, it becomes easier to believe it. And that belief fuels the actions you need to take to make it real.
So every morning, it's like you have this fundamental choice. Let the world dictate your thoughts, let the chaos in, or consciously take control of your mind.
It's easy to get swept away, right?
Yeah.
Stress, fear, negativity.
Hmm.
They can take the wheel if you let them.
But you have the power to choose otherwise, to focus on what you can control. Start the day with intention.
And things like meditation or prayer can be really helpful here too. They quiet the mind, help you become more aware of your thought patterns, and tap into inner strength.
Gives you that space to see clearly.
Right. Helps you catch those negative thoughts earlier and reinforces your ability to handle challenges.
So the big takeaway for the mind.